Today we're going to be making an optimized DPR, so we're going for high damage per round. This is, as my usual DPR builds are, this is going to be to a level 20, and no magic items, well, except, actually for this one, except given by the class features, so Artificer is a little bit of a fun exception to this. And no help from allies. So basically, we're going Artillerist Artificer. Now, the Artillerist Artificer gets the highest damage bonus action of any class ability, because eventually at 15 level they're going to have 2 cannons that deal 3d8 force damage on a hit each. The highest others we get is 3d8 once for Stars Druid, and I don't think the damage even increases on Lurker, and the maybe goes to 3d8. But either way, again, it's just a lot better, and we can take advantage of that. But honestly, this is deceiving, and I'm going to show you why. Now, because of this, we're definitely going to have to go 15 into Artificer to get that capstone, which is we have 2 cannons. We're going to choose ASMR, of course. Now, we're going to need mostly Dex and pretty good int. So we're going to boost our int to 14 and our Dex to 17. Now, first level Artificer really doesn't give us much. It's just like a bunch of prestidigitation-like abilities, which are fun, but not going to help us that much. Everything really comes at... we also get spellcasting. And at first level, well, we do get Green Flame Blade and Booming Blade, which are great damage increases. Firebolt is another one. Spells like Fairy Fire and Tasha's Castric Brew will give you a ton of mileage at early levels. Extra damage and higher crit chance, again, are always solid from advantage. And spells like Tasha's Cauldron, Tasha's Caustic Brew for just more damage. So next level, we're going to get our infusions. You want to take the +1 weapon infusion, of course, and then +1 armor probably, and then maybe +1 focus too. Next, we get to choose our subclass at 3rd level. We're taking Artificer, Artillerist Artificer, of course, which gives us awesome things like the shield spell, which this is a good spell, and we can use our Eldritch Cannon to cast 2d8 forces bonus. We can gift people 1d8 plus our modifier temporary hit points, or we can deal 2d8 fire in a 15-foot cone. So both all great options, but we're basically attack rolls are the best way to increase damage, so that's what we're doing. 4th level we get an ASI. I would go Sharpshooter, and just because at this point we're having a +1 weapon, which is probably a longbow, and then we get Sharpshooter on that. So we have a better chance than most people do at this level to hit because of that +1 and more damage. So right now we're dealing, depends on what we're doing. If we're choosing Chromatic, the Gifted Chromatic Dragon, we're going to deal 1d8 because we need a melee weapon, so we're going Rapier, +1 plus 3 from our infusion, and then our base Dex. 1d8. Yeah, we're talking about 5th level at this point, so 1d8 from Green Flame Blade, and then Arcane Firearm is when you cast a spell, you deal an additional d8, so it's another d8, and then d4 from Gift of the Chromatic Dragon. And then plus 2d8 is a bonus, and then plus 5 from ASMR because we're 5. So that's an average of 35 damage, which isn't bad with melee. Or with Sharpshooter, we're dealing as a 1d, actually 34 because we only have a +3 bonus at this point. But anyways, so that's a total of 34 damage with melee, which is pretty solid. Or if I haven't mentioned it before, Gifted Chromatic Dragon is basically just a UA feat, which means you can touch a weapon and it deals an extra D4 Chromatic Dragon damage for a minute, so pretty nice. Then now, if we do range instead, taking Sharpshooter, it's going to be a D10 plus 10 plus 1 plus 3, and then plus 2d8 as our bonus action, and then plus 5 from ASMR, which is 33. So slightly better with melee, and we have a better to hit, but doesn't matter too much. And then with Firebolt, we're doing 2d10 plus a d8 from Arcane Firearm, plus 2d8 is bonus, plus 5 from ASMR, which is 29 total. So that's lower. 6th level, we get more infusions. I would choose Homunculus Servant as one, and then basically just another way to have them do stuff and potentially do extra damage. Then 7th level, we get Flash of Genius. This is just a great tool for boosting saves of you of your allies. Just a nice tool to have. 8th level, we get another ASI. If you chose the ranged option earlier, you want to grab Chromatic Dragon now. Or otherwise, you just want to take an ASI to boost that dex up to 19. At 9th level, we get a D8 damage increase to our cannons and 3rd level spells. Haste is going to be the main one here, as well as Fireball, which is a great damage dealing spell. At 10th level, we get even more infusions. We'll take the Bracers of Archery if you're going ranged. And 11th level, we get a spell storing item. Scorching Ray is probably the best option for this. You basically, at this point, you're having 8 uses of Scorching Ray in a once per long rest item, which is amazing. Now, let's talk about how much damage we deal. Now, in melee, we're dealing 1d8 plus 4 plus 2 from our bonus from the infusion, 2 attack rolls, and damage d4 from Chromatic, 2d8 from Booming Blade, 1d8 more from Arcane Firearm, 3d8 is a bonus, and then plus 11 from ASMR, and and not only that, but we have a hasted action, right? So the most damage we can deal with this is our Scorching Ray object interaction. So it's going to be 66 plus another d8 from the Arcane. So all in all, it's a total of 75 damage. Or if we do Scorching Ray, it's 3d10 plus d8 from Arcane Firearm, and then plus 3d8 is bonus, and then once again we're hasted, so it's going to be 68 plus d8 is a cantrip, and then plus 11 from ASMR is 71 damage. Or range build, 1d10 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 more from Abrasive Archery, plus 10 from Sharpshooter, plus 4 from Chromatic, plus 3d. And then we can make another shot with haste, and plus 11 from ASMR, which is going to total 90 damage. Now for 12th, we're grabbing ASI, a gunner. We probably want to take gunner for the ranged option. Just it's good to get melee, which will boost you to plus 4, and then otherwise just cap it, and then add something else or take another half feet. 13th, we get 4th level spells, summon, construct, wildfire, and so forth. They're all right. 14th level, we get more infusions. Not really anything we want to take here. 15th is our final Artificer. We have 2 cannons, each of them granting half cover those within 10 feet of it, and they each deal the same damage before, but still doubling your damage you can do as a bonus. Now there are multiple routes you can take here. One is to lean to Marshal. Increase your number of attacks by going 5 into Hunter Ranger, getting Horde Breaker to make another attack if enemies close, and then extra attack, and then we can also grab Favored Foe for the extra d6 damage, but pretty decent. Not a ton will be useful, just because you can also grab Hunter's Mark. And we can grab fighting style, which is nice. We can take archery or dueling, depending on which you think is more kind of build you want to go. Because again, like I said, there's 3 different ways you can go for this. And then for our final ASI, you probably want to grab gunner, so you can just cap your dex if it's range. Probably going to go range because that's most damage. And then, so now basically we're dealing 1d10 plus 2 plus 2 plus 5 plus it's 10 plus a d4, and then 3 times because you're doing, wait, okay, so 4 times, because 3 to 4 times based off of your hunter ranger, right? Because you're dealing hasted action, normal attack, extra attack, and then potentially your hunter's attack. So and then you get to do d6 as a bonus. If you don't have a hunter's attack, I mean, if you do have a hunter's attack, it's somewhere between 154 to 163 because you have potentially the homunculi damage added in there. But this isn't great again. Like, it's potentially even less than Beastmaster. So what's the option then? Well, we can go 5 into Wizard or Cleric for Shroud, and since we have 7th level slots, if you add them all together, we can cast it for 3d8. No subclass will really benefit us, so I see either Scribes take Elemental Adept feat just for higher base damage, or Blade Singing for increased concentration in AC, because it's already in base, so it's just better to go into Wizard. So basically, if you do that, you with Shroud, because Shroud applies to both of your guns, and then, but the thing is, at this point, you're only making 1 attack for your normal turn, so it's even less damage. It's 131. We can get it up to 145 with Bestow Curse if we cast at 5th level, and therefore not requiring concentration, but it requires them to make a save, and really can't count on that. So, and then, well, the other option, right, is we can Eldritch Blast instead of just making a normal attack, but we have to go 5 into a full caster in order to get Shroud, so we can't get Warlock, which means that we're just dealing, but it's still 1d10 plus 3d8 4 times, so that's up to 150, but still not what we want. We could just deal more damage by doing haste. So what's the other option? Well, if we, instead of going into Dex as our main stat, we go into Strength, we can get green Great Weapon Master. If we go Strength as a main stat instead of Dex, we can get Great Weapon Master as our feat instead, and everything's almost the same except we're losing out on the bracers damage. But this way, if we go 5 in Echo Knight, we get extra attack, Echo Knight attack. But here's the problem. It's just better to go Hunter. Well, the thing is, this is more reliable than Hunter Ranger. We still end at the 160 range again. But, I mean, we use haste again, but it's just, that's probably the highest you're going to get. Or, as your action, you just use infuse items with Spirit Shroud, which means you're doing Scorching Ray, which is basically 3 times of 2d6 plus 3d8 times 3. You add Arcane Firearm, and then so that, which is another d8, which plus your 2 bonus actions, which are, you add Shred to those, is going to be just 140 total. so not as good as either of the other two options. You could go 5 into Hexblade and haste, so you're basically, we can go 5 into Hexblade and basically we get Thirsting Blade, and then this way we also get Hexblade curse damage, but it's not, again, going to push us. I mean, we can get haste too, but it's just better to do like a fighter or hunter ranger in haste. So basically one of the coolest features of this subclass, which is going 15 into it for the cannons. Using Spirit Shroud, we have to sacrifice too much. The only way I would do Spirit Shroud and take this is if you can get it another way. Like, you have like a ring of spell storing, and then you have to friend cast Spirit Shroud. That way you can get extra attack and apply that while still being able to take advantage of that. But otherwise, it's really not worth it. It just haste. And as you'll see later in other builds, the armorer is, and most potentially the battlesmith as well, are just better alternatives to this. For one that's like blowing stuff and dealing damage, it's a bit weak. So that's today's build by the Dodo Deck Dungeon, and see you next time.